This time there is travel chaos, Christmas dinner chaos, weather chaos, and even some royal chaos. There's trouble in the air. It's the 20th of December and we're due to head off to Gatwick this afternoon to fly off to Spain for Christmas. But Gatwick is in complete shutdown and nothing is flying in or out due to an incident with a drone being flown in and around the airport for now the last 16 hours. And it's starting to look like our holiday plans are in complete tatters. Gatwick is like a ghost town, and travellers have been told to go home and contact their airline, as all flights are currently cancelled until further notice. Well, we've made it to Gatwick. It's eerily quiet and nothing's going anywhere at the moment. Our flight's due at 9:30 in the morning, so now it's just a waiting game. See if we can get some sleep somewhere. Or a beer. Next morning, when we arrive, all but about 5 flights are showing as cancelled. Well, after all the kerfuffle of yesterday, Gatwick's reopened this morning and our flight is actually more or less on time. There's actually been a slight delay in boarding, which means we've missed the slot, but we've managed to pick up another one just a few minutes later. Fingers crossed, we're hopefully going to be on our way in a few minutes. I'll wait till we reach about 15,000 feet. Before we know it, well, despite all the chaos, we arrived in Malaga no more than 5 minutes later than scheduled after all that. Of course, it then took us 40 minutes to catch a train because they're on strike. But we are now here and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, it was quite a stressful journey getting here, but this makes it all worthwhile.
It's Christmas Eve and we set off for a walk along the coast and hunt down a torre that we've walked past many times.
Today we've come from Torremolinos to the old tower of Torremolinos. We've nearly ended up walking to Fuengirola again.
Christmas Day.
Feliz Navidad.
Happy Christmas. Chris bought champagne chocolates for Christmas Day. I still think it's a bit early in the morning yet. It's late enough now. And all that before breakfast. Chris cooks up his scrambled egg special. Cheers. And then it's time for presents.
Beer.
Donkey beer.
Thank you.
Looks familiar.
I wonder what this could be.
I wonder.
What is that?
It's obvious, really. air's happy. And we take tea out on the terrace before heading out for a Christmas Day walk.
It's Christmas Day in Torremolinos and we're on the beach.
We've had a nice breakfast that Chris cooked and opened all our presents.
And next we're going back to make dinner.
I'm going to attempt to make a Yorkshire pudding, but I've got nothing to measure or weigh the ingredients with. Well, this is going to be a disaster, I can tell. Yeah. That's a cup of milk. Mixing it for a bit of air in it. I bought some veggie corn with me for Christmas dinner, not knowing if it would survive the unpredictable journey. Looks like they're okay. I managed to buy some Seaton. Careful, that's very hot. Ah! I did warn you. Chris's duck is done. And so is the corn. The vegetables are boiling over. And dinner is served, complete with cranberry sauce. And 20 minutes later... Well... It took a bit longer than the rest, but it's not a complete disaster. Wow. It's still a little soggy in the middle. And we couldn't eat another thing. But who's going to do all this washing up? Oh, well done. Christmas dinner stress. It wasn't too bad in the end, anyway. It's edible at least. Yorkshire could have been better. It just needed longer.
I burnt my hand quite badly getting things in and out of the oven.
And the oven was a bit of a pain. Not sure it was very even cooking. It seemed to be much hotter at the bottom.
Well, that was Christmas dinner. The duck wasn't too bad. The vegetables were okay. The roast potatoes were pretty bad, and the Yorkshire pudding was a bit of a disaster. And I need a beer after that.
A donkey beer. Potatoes were like cremated on one side, but apart from that, it could have been worse. And in the evening, we pop out to a couple of our favourite bars for a nice Christmas drink or two. Next day, we're off to Fuengirola.
This is Sohail Castle in the west end of Fuengirola.
Shame it's closed.
That's odd.
Gonna have a quick look in Iceland. Would you look at that? Well, we found the Iceland in Fuengirola, and it's turned into a bit of a shopping spree. We found corn slices, McCartney veggie sausages, everything I brought with me on the plane. I could have just brought in here. Then there's the luxuries like mince pies, Ritz. Nowhere else is sold Ritz. It's a sunny afternoon on the Costa del Sol, and we stop off for a stroll around Battery Park. Later in the week, and we head off along the seafront to the Guadalajara Nature Reserve, another of our favourite jaunts. But no Malaga today.
So for those that watch our videos regularly, you'll know we often try and get across this river to Malaga. But today, despite working out the tide, it's still much too deep to cross. We're half an hour after the low tide, but actually it's a neap tide today, so it doesn't go down as much as a spring tide would.
The weather gets a bit wilder for the next day or so. Oh, it's a bit rough out there today. Anyway, halfway through the trip now, we're off for get some lunch at Wigan Bar. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Hopefully the weather's gonna brighten up again and be a bit nicer.
I bet it's a bit choppy out there on the cruise ship today.
We decide to eat in for New Year's Eve as some of the restaurants close and the town gets quite busy. Second attempt at cooking a meal New Year's Eve tonight. I'm cooking a veggie toad in the hole. So far, it's looking fairly promising. Well, I think I've got the hang of that oven now.
Happy New Year.
It's worked out quite well. And we're off out to see in the new year at Boomerang. Grapes at the ready. The tradition is to eat 12 grapes as the clock chimes midnight, one on each chime. I just can't stuff any more in.
Happy New Year!
And in the town square, the party carries on all night long. Next afternoon, here we are again in Malaga. Happy New Year.
It looks like they had a good party here last night. The pavements are all sticky. I told you it'd be sunny again by today.
Time for a walk.
It's New Year's Day and we're walking along the beach. Where have you heard that before?
The ship's headed off. Must be time for us to head home. The following morning, we're up early and back off to Fuengirola, determined to catch the castle before it closes today.
We finally made it to Fuengirola Castle when it's actually open.
This one does at least look more like a traditional castle. And it was worth getting up early for. And it's free. Oh, I fancy a Magners right now. So we jump in a taxi. 10 minutes later. Lovely.
Old speckled hen. That's good. That was a nice day out in Fuengirola.
This year, we're staying in Torremolinos for the Three Kings Parade. But despite catching a few sweets, we just missed out on a fluffy toy from one of the kings. We might have got away with it as well if it wasn't for those pesky kids. last day, we pop along to Benalmadena Marina for a wander around the harbour wall. And a quick bite of tapas to wrap up this trip.
Well, that's about it from Torremolinos. We've had a great Christmas and New Year. Catch up with us again soon.